First off, the title of this video is clickbait to a certain extent because this isn't actually a problem with Sparking Zero, more so a problem that could end up being in Sparking Zero. Although, once you hear me out, I promise it will make sense. If you're enjoying the vibes, make sure you slide and subscribe. I would really appreciate it as it thrusts my channel in the algorithm, helps me grow a little bit, and might help you out in the future. You never know when I got a chance to do giveaways, all that type of stuff. Anyways, what I wanted to jump into is something that I've kind of explained in previous reactions and previous videos, is that the thing that Sparking Zero is going to kind of have to face coming into like this age of gaming is, first off, you have microtransactions that could possibly be in the game. I don't know if it's been confirmed if they will have it in the game, if they won't, if you can buy suits, outfits, color waves, all that type of stuff. And of course, DLC, that's of course going to be in the game. That's already been displayed inside of the game. That's not the issue. That's not the major thing. I mean, it could be an issue on the aspect of some fans being like, oh, I don't want microtransactions to be in the game. But other than that, I don't think that's going to be like a real issue. My thing is that it's in a really heavily pushed online environment. So what that means is that you are now victim to these people just like me that's gonna try to clickbait and try to do a whole bunch of stuff and put out a crap load of videos on this is the best person to use, this is the best thing to do in ranked, this is the best person to do in unrated, this whatever. You're gonna have these this is the best videos, and then you're going to, I feel like it's going to end up leading into some like metas, right? I've kind of explained this before in some previous videos, whether it was related to Dragon Ball or not. The issue with some online games having a meta is that people don't actually play the game the way the developers really expected you to play the game, which is fine on one end, but on the other end, it just leads to you running into the same person over and over and over. You're not having fun anymore, and then ranked becomes something that's just a long drag fest, and you're like, oh my god, it's such a drag to freaking rank up with this character. I can't do this with this character. Everybody has all the information about the game, all accessible at one time, and the game ends up just becoming a meta fest, you know? And that is something that I think is gonna be a challenge for Sparking Zero, or a potential challenge. I don't know if it's gonna actually affect it this much, because it seems like they're doing a pretty decent job at balancing the game. It's already been announced that humans are gonna be the less powerful characters to play as, and when they're going against somebody that's a Saiyan or somebody that's supposed to be super powerful and a big transformation, like Broly, for example. Broly in the previous games had this no stagger basically kind of limit, and especially if you was too weak like a Hercule, maybe Yamcha, depending on who you're playing against, but in this case Broly, right, Krillin, you might not actually be able to knock back Broly. Like, you really might not be able to knock back him. So, I mean, that makes sense in the standpoint of, like, the actual show, and that makes sense in the standpoint of the game. But the problem with show translating into video game is that you have to try to make it balanced for everyone and all-inclusive to actually have fun. So I don't know if they're gonna have a ranked mode or if they're gonna have an unranked mode, if it's just online battles, whatever the case may be. People usually like to have a ranked mode because it gives them something to really work towards instead of just playing the game online and just making a bunch of videos. With all of the great things they have in this game, with the customizable battles and scenarios and stuff, I don't feel like this is gonna be as much of an issue, just because it seems like there's so many different things that you can do in the game. But I do want that to be made public, you know, like it's going to not be balanced purposefully. So with that being said, there's going to be a bunch of people making videos on do not play this character, and if you do play this character, this is how you exploit playing as this character. And you know, and I understand one aspect of, like, it could be cool to just learn all your combos, it can be cool to learn all the moves and how to use them and utilize them in combo strings. That's great, but I feel like the problem with the whole meta scene becomes when you compare it to a day and age where your information came from Game Informer magazines and GameStop magazines or whatever game information gathering system magazine. You really had to, like, it wasn't everybody in the world that knew this one information. Usually you sat down and you really tried to learn the ins and outs of the game yourself, and whatever pro tips or something that you might have gotten from the magazine, you might have already figured out yourself, or it wouldn't have been so knowledge breaking, so game breaking, that everyone in the entire world is just using this one thing, or the majority of people are using this one thing. So, you know, it's just a different day and age. Information is readily available. So that's both, it's a double-edged sword. It's both a really good thing and a really bad thing, depending on the circumstance. In this circumstance, you know, again, I don't want to repeat myself over and over, but you are going to end up running into like Goku UI or Goku Dragon Super, Goku early or something, whatever, because people are going to be able to exploit certain things because there's going to be a buttload of people on the internet that's going to be making best of this, this is how you exploit this. And I mean, it's just it's a thing that has plagued a lot of online games when it comes to like games like COD, games like freaking I don't know, I can relate this to like Xenoverse, for example. There was a lot of people when Xenoverse first came out only use Beerus. Why? Because Beerus had a broken ass move in the game, right? So everybody used Beerus. Why? He wasn't balanced. And then you know, everybody complained about it, and that's a good thing to a certain extent. They nerfed Beerus. But when they nerfed Beerus, they made him damn near unplayable. I mean, you got Rhyme over here that knows how to play Beerus in any freaking game. You know, shout out to him. You have to work extra hard just to meet the standards of everybody else in the game now, because people are going to complain about one character being broken. They're going to nerf him down to hell. They're going to complain about this character. They're going to nerf him down to hell. Hopefully, Bandai doesn't fall victim to that. Hopefully, the devs do not fall victim to just like, oh, blatantly pushing down so many things, but it does lead, you know, to a potential issue. I just wanted to bring it to note that it could potentially bring issues in the future. Be wary. Maybe if you see this video and you're the type of person that is gonna try to make all those tutorial type videos, maybe leave out all of the exploitative things, you know, so people can try to figure it out. Let the longevity last, you know, let people be in the dark a little longer. There's some people out there that the only thing that they think about is how to break the game, and that shit is just so unfun. A lot of, like, for example, with Naruto Storm Connections, oh my gosh, I know, hate on the game all you want to. I enjoy the game, but I'm not stupid. The game isn't good. It's not good. I had a video that was said it's not as bad as people say, and people were shitting on me for that video, but I didn't say it was a good game. I just said it's not as bad as what people were saying anymore. That's the thing, anymore. Anyways, why am I bringing up Storm Connections is because when that game came out, there was literally countless videos about how getting this game is going to be terrible, and it's just Storm 4 DLC. The game came out, and then everybody's tune changed to be like, oh, it's not Storm 4 DLC, it has this in it now, and these system mechanics has happened, which was a positive thing for the game. And then like maybe a day or two later, the turnaround on that was, this is how to exploit pretty much every match. Play as somebody that can use these jutsus because it has super armor on it. So that leads to people thinking a lot of people only want wins, right? A lot of people are kind of scummy in life. They only want wins, they only want views, they only want this. So they just do those things to get to that end goal. They don't care about the journey of learning stuff. Some people don't even give a damn about who they're playing. They're like, oh, this person's gonna net me the most wins, I'm gonna play as him every time. And contrary to popular belief, and I say this contrary to actual popular belief, a lot of people think that a lot of other people do not think that way. But the majority actually do think that way, that the only thing they want is to just win. And the proof is in the pudding. Like, look at Storm Connections, right? When that game came out, everybody complained about spammers and spammers and spammers. Well, if everybody is complaining about spammers, how come nobody decided to have this mutual agreement to just not spam? Why? Because you're gonna run into the majority. We are the minority that was complaining. The minority is the ones that's like, there's so much. Because if it was the actual majority of people, it's just the majority of the minority, right, is who we are as a collective. But out of our minority, the majority of people that are complaining have channels to express that disdain. And then you have these two-faced people that are commenting, yeah, every time I play the da-da-da-da-da-da, right? But you're exploiting the same system. You're doing the same thing. If it's really an issue, then everybody would just have a mutual agreement to just not do it. This is something that could plague Sparking Zero. That's all I'm saying. So, I mean, if you disagree, you disagree, right? All I'm saying is it's something that could potentially come into the future of Sparking Zero, with this being an online always type of situation. Well, not always online, but you get what I'm saying. Online is a really big forefront of what this game is compared to Budokai Tenkaichi 3 or Tenkaichi 2 that came out so long ago, where that wasn't really right in your face feature. A lot of the times, this game has been constantly marketed as built around single player experiences. They added the 2-player split screen later, but the whole game was based around online play and single player encounters and situations and creativity, and you can custom do this. So that's what people are going to be doing because that's what the game was built around. That's probably where they excelled at. I'm crossing my fingers that they have a really good netcode in this game. But yeah, again, I don't want to kind of just talk your ear off. I know I could talk forever, and I apologize about that, but this is also my channel. I like to talk. Sometimes I like to hear myself, I guess, you know. It's just something that I thought is a potential issue, a potential thing that could come up and actually be something that people are going to start complaining about. When the game comes out, people might say, oh, I'm only running into Broly's. I'm only running into Whis. I'm only running into... And, you know, and I just feel like that's going to be a really big thing for Sparking Zero to probably have to overcome, because even though they made the game initially with not balancing people in mind and having everybody have kind of their own advantages and purposeful disadvantages, it's a really big potential that the mass majority of people online are going to complain about there being certain broken and unbroken characters that it's going to force their hand to kind of make a game that they initially didn't want. And you know, it's just any game that's online kind of breeds this area, if it's popular enough, to have metas. So when a new update does come out, they might have fixed God Mode Goku, they might have fixed Evolution Vegeta, and now everybody's playing as them because they have a buff on them. Or they're gonna fix, I don't know, Super Broly, and they nerfed Beerus or something. So I mean, it happens in fighters. You don't run into, you know, a vast majority of the characters in fighters anymore. You're running into like the same 2 or 3 characters back to back to back to back, or you're only using this character because they're good as support and you're not even actually trying to play the game. I mean, that happens in connections all the time. I'm sorry, I just rambled on again, but if you agree with me, let me know in the comments. What do you think could possibly be an issue that Sparking Zero has to overcome in the first year, I guess, of it being out? You know, I don't know how much they're going to be supporting the game. I can only imagine for as long, at least, as Xenoverse 2, considering Xenoverse 2 is like half the hype of what Sparking Zero is, because before Xenoverse 2, I mean, we have this huge older generation that I'm a part of that are in their mid-20s to late 20s and even early 30s that played the original Budokai games, Budokai Tenkaichi games, and yeah, they played Xenoverse, but they're not like the huge fan of that. Like, yeah, we like it and it's good and we've been asking for a CAC for so long. I mean, we had sort of that in Ultimate Tenkaichi, but we don't want to bring that up. So we have this huge fan base that is migrating back, and they're like buying PlayStation 5s and whatever else, Xbox Ones, just for the sole reason of playing Sparking Zero. You know, this is going to be a mass majority of the entire anime gaming community for Dragon Ball anyways, playing Sparking Zero, whereas the community was really sparse and sprinkled out when Xenoverse 2 came out, Battle of Gods, whatever it was called. I don't know. You get what I'm saying. When all these other games have been sprinkled in here or there, people are like, everybody's going to be playing Sparking Zero. So I think that's the difference. So what do you think could possibly be an issue that people are going to run into the first, I guess, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? You choose. Let me know in the comments below. Again, if you enjoying the vibes, make sure you subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did, stay safe out there. I love you guys. Peace.
I never felt like I never felt like